Hi, I'm Martin Geitz. I'm CEO of Simsbury Bank, and I'm here with our Manufacturing Matters team today to showcase one of Connecticut's many shining stars, the Innovation Partnership Building at the UConn Tech Park. The facilities at the UConn Tech Park are a focal point for innovation, groundbreaking research. Teams of world-class scientists collaborate at the center to develop novel technologies in core research fields such as energy, electronics, material science, additive manufacturing, and cybersecurity. Our goal today is to provide information about the amazing assets that the UConn School of Engineering has available at the Tech Park to share with family-owned and small to medium-sized businesses. These assets include the services provided by the three centers embedded within the UConn Enterprise Solution Center here at the Tech Park. Joining me today are three individuals who have helped grow this world-class facility in Storrs, Connecticut. Welcome to all of you. Dr. Hadi Bazorgmanesh,
You did it better than I do, thank you.
is the Executive Director of the UConn Enterprise Solution Center. Dr. Jeongho Kim is the Director of Connecticut Manufacturing Simulation Center. And Joe Luciani is the Director of the Proof of Concept Center and the Quiet Corner Innovation Cluster. Welcome to all of you, and it's great to be with you here at the UConn Tech Park in Storrs. Hadi, why don't we start with you? If you could share with listeners a bit about what the UConn Enterprise Solution Center is about and its role within the Tech Park.
Well, first of all, thank you, Martin, for considering UConn and the Innovation Entrepreneurship Center. UConn Enterprise Solution Center is a vision, really, to bring together the OEMs, the supply chain, and the vast know-how of faculty and the facilities at UConn. The vision is through this center, they can innovate new products or develop new parts very rapidly due to our capabilities to simulate and do 3D printing and do a quick prototyping.
It's a remarkable set of capabilities right here. Our episode today is called Innovation and Economic Development. Could you talk a little bit, Hadi, about how the work that you're doing here contributes to economic development here in Connecticut and really worldwide?
So the vision that I have, and many of our faculty and the university has, that the best resources for quick economic development at the state of Connecticut is the small, medium-sized companies. The small, medium-sized companies have the highest return on investment if you can help them to get to the state-of-art technology and help them develop new products and services that benefits the state and the companies themselves.
Fantastic, fantastic. Joe, you run the Proof of Concept and Quiet Corner Innovation Cluster. Yeah. It's wonderful that the Quiet Corner has a cluster. That's great. Can you describe what these centers of excellence do for the School of Engineering?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Proof of Concept Center is a prototyping facility where we give small and medium-sized companies access to the latest and greatest in rapid prototyping technologies. And what's unique is we have this Quiet Corner Innovation Cluster, and that program allows us to not only utilize this, the prototyping facility, but also reach across the campus when we have either a unique researcher or a unique piece of equipment here at UConn that would help these small and medium-sized companies break into new markets or break through a current problem that they're struggling with.
It's amazing. Well, we're actually sitting in the Proof of Concept Center here.
And surrounded by tooling.
For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, you can see in the background some great equipment that provides...
Yeah, so lots of rapid prototyping technology, so additive manufacturing, CNC machining, abrasive water jetting, anything really where it takes to get to a physical object. And as well as, what's really important is the building we're in. The building has a large investment of instrumentation. So not only do we have this space to rely on, we have a number of different resources throughout the building, including electron microscopy, material science, metal additive 3D printing. So there's quite a vast resource of talent here.
It is a remarkable investment and capability to support both education as well as companies here in Connecticut. Wonderful. Jeongho, I wonder if you could provide us with an overview of the Connecticut Manufacturing Simulation Center that you manage.
Oh yeah, Connecticut Manufacturing Simulation Center was established in 2016 through a partnership between UConn and Connecticut Innovations and U.S. Economic Development Administrations. We offer an access to high-end modeling and computer technology to local Connecticut manufacturers. And at the same time, we train students and professionals. Over the past 2 years, we have been training more than 300 students. And we believe that computer modeling and simulation can drastically lower the cost of creating a manufacturing part. That's why our center exists.
Fantastic. That's amazing. Joe, when we were here a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned that there are 65 students in the Industry 4.0 program working with small and medium-sized businesses here in the Proof of Concept Center. Can you describe the kind of work and the outcomes that these companies are expecting in their interaction with you and with the students?
Yeah, I'll let Hadi talk about the Industry 4.0 program, but I can certainly talk about sort of the problems that we're seeing with within small and medium-sized businesses. A lot of what we see with small and medium-sized businesses is that they have a core set of products that they've developed, and really when you start to ask them, what does the next 5 to 10 years worth of development actually look like, they haven't really planned it out, right? And they certainly have some obstacles, to those problems. And so what we want to see, sort of help them with is let the university here be sort of an R&D department for them. They give us their problems, and we get to sort of focus on them to help them break into either new markets or a challenge that they have. For us, it might be, how can they apply, additive manufacturing to their current design workflow? How could they, utilize it on the actual manufacturing floor? I think a lot of people, when they think of additive or 3D printing, they think of strictly prototyping, but a lot of what you're seeing with additive manufacturing is it being used on the factory floor to actually help the production process or manufacturing process. And so those are the things that we kind of look for, in items. But I'll let Hadi talk about the Industry 4.0 program.
Great. Hadi,
Sure.
talk about that. That'd be great.
So as you know, Industry 4.0, the 4.0 stands mainly for the fourth industrial revolution. And the revolution is all about digitization of manufacturing and everything else. So to do that, it requires retraining of the workforce. And many of the old business models are going to be in trouble because of Industry 4.0. So the people who are going to be successful in that arena are those who can create new product and services around the 9 pillars of the technologies that are part of Industry 4.0. And we have a program that is sponsored by CT Next, which is the Connecticut government, to try to bring together supply chain and the student and faculty innovation around Industry 4.0 and train students. So it's a 2-semester activity. The first semester, we have seminars and classes that involve students and the industry, mainly supply chain. And they talk about all these 9 pillars of the technologies. And the second semester, they are going to be in here working with small and medium-sized companies to innovate new ideas that can make them more competitive around Industry 4.0.
Fantastic. And working with the companies themselves clearly gives practical experience to the students that they might not otherwise get if they didn't have a facility like this. And Jeongho, that kind of comes into what you're doing for your part of the organization. Want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what makes CMSC unique in the United States is that we offer an access to high-performance computing nodes and some of the high-end engineering software, along with faculty and technicians, and bring digitized solutions to many real manufacturing problems. In addition, CMSC is very unique in the sense that we have really large workforce facility here in UConn Tech Park. And that's pretty much the capabilities that we have and we can offer to small and medium-sized companies.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
So banks, community banks like Simsbury Bank, we don't tend to do business with Pratt & Whitney or Electric Boat or Sikorsky, but we do business with many of the small and medium-sized companies that are in the supply chain for those companies. In fact, half of the small business loans in the United States are made by community banks like Simsbury Bank. So we play a very important part in the economy, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so delighted to spend time with you today to learn more about manufacturing in Connecticut and how it can help our economy overall. So as we think about that, I wonder if we could take a little bit of a deeper dive, into how this collection of resources is really helping the small and medium-sized businesses be successful as a part of the supply chain. And I think, Hadi, you were touching on it before, that if you're not prepared to compete in the manufacturing 4.0 and the industry 4.0 economy, you're going to be left behind. And maybe you could talk a little bit more about how that comes into play with the small and medium-sized businesses and how you all are helping them in Connecticut.
Thank you. Yeah, so one of our aim is to become the focal point of Industry 4.0 for the state of Connecticut, especially in relation to other universities and colleges within the state. So as part of this program that I mentioned with CT Next, we collaborate with 4 other universities across the state in order to bring the best resources to both small, medium-sized companies, as well as using the best resources to create the workforce needed for Industry 4.0. So apart from that, we are also trying to get into a major programs with federal government. Mm-hmm. And as Jeongho mentioned, this facility, all of these facilities that we are talking about, which is part of Enterprise Solutions Center, is the collaboration and co-funding from federal government, state government, and universities. And that's very difficult task to achieve, to get all of those funding in one location. So we are trying to build upon that and create UConn as a center for technology and workforce training, as well as business models that are needed for the Industry 4.0.
Remarkable progress that you all have made in 10 years, 15 years. How long has the School of Engineering and UConn generally been working to get to this point, and which is remarkable?
We just completed our 3rd year, so it's very rapid in terms of getting where we are today. Yeah. And as you can see, the proof of concept center, you can smell the machines being brand new. So we are just opened this, but 6 months ago.
May of 2018.
Right.
So, but there was clearly planning that occurred before that, and there was clearly a vision for where you wanted to go with this. Was longer than
and to be honest, we have not achieved our full vision yet. Mm-hmm. It's a journey, and we are planning to continue to get there.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Another question on small to medium-sized businesses in Connecticut. How do they connect with you? How would they, if they have a manufacturing problem that they're trying to solve, and you're here offering resources to help them solve that problem, how do they find you? How do they connect with you?
Yeah, I mean, I can answer that. So the easiest way is to go to our website. So for the Quiet Corner Innovation Cluster, it's qcic.uconn.edu, in which you can find my contact information as well as Hadi's. And then if they're interested in CMSC, the Connecticut Manufacturing Simulation Center, it's cmsc.uconn.edu, and you can reach out to Dr. Kim. But really, I mean, we're interested in, any problem. I mean, and a lot of times it's us going out and seeing the facility, seeing the production process, what it is that they make, the value that we can try to figure out where we can add, sort of the facilities that we can provide.
Jeongho, do you want to add on to that at all?
Yeah, pretty much we reach out by emails and calling company representatives, talking about our capabilities in CMSC. And then, we do a small survey in terms of their needs. And then we reach out to them, define a detailed scope of work, and define typically 1-year project, and we closely work with their professionals in order to understand the actual process and mechanisms, so that we learn from them, they learn from us. So this is a really good environment, working together, with professionals and UConn research. and researchers and technicians.
Fantastic. Hadi, anything else a small or medium-sized business who's listening to this podcast should know that we haven't touched on today?
I think what we found that to be really incredible is when the faculty and the small, medium-sized companies take a walk around their facility, how many spark new ideas are generated. And the enthusiasm that the faculty and their PhD students have to solving a real problem that's created. I mean, the faculty is typically sitting in the lab as far as research is concerned, is trying to extend the frontier of science and technology. But when it comes to solving real problems that leads into an innovative product and parts for the companies, this is the best platform for the faculty and students actually take a walk in the floor plan and create ideas and point out to the processes that they can improve. And that's how we typically have found the best way to working with them.
Get everyone working together.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's remarkable. It's remarkable what you all have achieved so far, and look forward to as you continue to develop it and expand it. It's a remarkable asset to the state of Connecticut and manufacturers and really the world as you are helping companies compete worldwide in the global economy.
So I think another point too that's important is that the university typically are accustomed to working with the major industries because major industries have research and development programs. They can understand internally what their technical problems are.
Right.
Whereas the small, medium-sized companies typically lack the research and development group, and they try to get by around the problems or around the needs they have for innovation and new ideas. And what we have established is a track record that the universities and small, medium-sized companies both enjoy working together and being productive, and it's good for the state of Connecticut.
Yeah.
Just as an example, CMS has been worked with 8 different companies in Connecticut.
Wow.
These are all small and medium-sized companies. They do not have any engineering analysis team, so they cannot also afford any high-end software packages.
Right.
That's why our CMS center is providing service to them at the same time working with the problems and giving them solutions.
Yeah.
And this is cannot be done in 1 year or 2 years. This is ongoing, and our innovation and collaboration work with them pretty much it will take at least 10 or 15 minutes down the road. But our center, at the same time as a proof of concept center, is giving them a solution so that they can actually apply those solutions to their real problems, get more revenues and savings. And that's one of the facts that we really proud of having these 2 centers working together for local small and medium-sized companies.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Arguably, without the sort of support and resources that you are, and the partnership that you are offering, this transformation that's occurring, Hadi, that you were talking about earlier to Industry 4.0, could very well leave many small and medium-sized businesses behind because, as you say, Jeongho, they don't have the people that the larger companies have to help them solve problems.
Yeah, let me just mention another point is that UConn, especially in this building, we have facilities, microscopes that cost $10 million.
Yeah.
And small, medium-sized companies cannot and should not
Right.
be able to go and buy those things for themselves because they probably use it 1% of the time.
Right.
So we have these facilities and we have the know-how of how to use it. And we provide those facilities to the companies. And that's one of the other great assets that UConn School of Engineering has that can provide to the small, medium-sized companies.
And yet that 1% of the time that they need it, if they don't have it, they could very well be left behind.
Exactly.
So it's a remarkable.
And just to add a little bit to that, with a lot of the equipment that I have is certainly reasonable for a small and medium-sized company to purchase themselves. So something that we try to do is be completely transparent about what it actually looks like to be the end user, to actually operate the equipment. What it would be to sit there and to have this type of equipment in their workflow. So we try to be upfront about the cost of the equipment, the cost to run it, sort of the nuances of what it takes to actually sort of operate it. And so, for these small and medium-sized companies that are taking the dive, at looking at, where does the additive manufacturing fit in through the workflow? Not only can we give them a very good glimpse at what, all of additive manufacturing looks like, because we have a number of different technologies on campus. We can actually bring the small and medium-sized, on site and show them, the sort of the ins and outs of how to operate the equipment. So later on, whenever they go and they want to make, a proposal to a bank, and say, hey, we want to buy this capital equipment, they'll at least we de-risk the situation for them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of value in that sense too. Is not only can we figure out how to solve their problem, but what would it look like for them to adopt this technology too?
Yeah, remarkable, absolutely remarkable. Well, as we wrap it up, are there any things that we didn't touch on in our conversation that you want to have as a last word? Good.
Yeah, but thank you very much for visiting us, and we look forward to working extensively with small, medium-sized companies in the future.
Yeah.
This
Always
has been-
looking for a challenge. So.
That's right. That's right. Well, this has been fantastic, and let me just give you a little bit of a quick commercial again here, because I think this investment that UConn has made, that the School of Engineering had the vision to come up with, is just absolutely remarkable for the state of Connecticut and for companies that are customers of community banks across the state that are really important to our local economy. So the Innovation Partnership Building at the UConn Tech Park and the Enterprise Solution Center provide not only a diverse and world-class faculty that is dedicated to boosting the economy in our state by providing access to research, equipment, and collaborative problem-solving expertise, but they also have a facility that is second to none across the country. It's remarkable. It's programs like this that will allow Connecticut to continue to compete on a global scale, and it's here for the asking for small businesses and medium-sized businesses across Connecticut. Please stay tuned for more episodes from the UConn School of Engineering, and I'd like to thank all of you again for joining us here today.
you.
This has been wonderful. I am Martin Geitz, CEO of Simsbury Bank, and it's been my honor to share this time with the three of you as part of our Simsbury Bank Manufacturing Matters podcasts.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Great.